Hi guys, this is the Awesome Fanboy, aka Nix, and today I will be discussing my thoughts and opinions on Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Roads. Now, the first Life is Strange game to me, Life is Strange game, was one of my favorite games ever, as well as my game of the year of 2015, the year it came out. Because of that, I had a lot of high hopes for Life is Strange 2, and I was a bit shaky for a bit, but boy, was I impressed with this game. Now, before I get into the meat, the story, and the character of it, I want to first address the gameplay of this game, as it seems to be way more ambitious than the first, which is probably why it ran like shit on my computer. Well, the first as well, or the Storm ran fine, but anyway. As I was saying, it feels more ambitious and also feels more like a non-adventure action game. Well, the original was very much a point-and-click adventure game. I was genuinely shocked when at one point it asked me to mash the left mouse button, and probably because of that, I felt like the game was very much more designed for controllers rather than mouse and keyboard. That, as well as the fact that the whole scroll to pick an action or dialogue option seems very, very awkward. I mean, just stick to keyboard buttons. There's like over 36 of them. God. This won't grant a greater sense of scope, and that brings me into the meat of the game, the story and characters. Now, I can't really get into this without discussing spoilers, so for those of you who want to know whether or not you should get this game, I highly recommend doing so, playing it or watching a Let's Play before continuing with this video. Now, as I was saying, the scope of this game seems to be much larger as you go from location to location. In some ways, it seems this first episode is discarding the skin of the first game while still retaining its identity as a Life is Strange game. If you ask me what the original was about, as a broad themes of it, I would say it's about characters and their relationships being explored through the use of supernatural elements and surrealist imagery and narrative elements. And this game very much continues with that. The first part in Seattle very much seems like the first game, as you are in a fairly densely populated area dealing with high school-like drama. The very first thing that characters talk about is how Sean is going to woo his crush at a Halloween party. But all of these plans go to ruin as their dad is killed and they are uprooted from their suburban roots. I do like how they make you care about Sean and Daniel's previous life before pulling the rug out from under you and them. It helps as well with it forging its new identity as you're forced to leave this very Life is Strange 1 setting behind and forge a new way forward. This analogy gets less subtle late in the episode when you visit Arcadia Bay or its ruins, depending on your choices, and it's a very loving tribute to the first game as the original music plays and serves as a goodbye, as well with a character literally going, "That's in the past." This song really rang true for me when the main character discards his cell phone right before the end. Now, to me, the cell phone was a very integral element in the first game as it helped the game to stay grounded around its main setting with the same characters. When Sean threw his phone into the ocean, to me that said the game is different. This was the last piece of the first game we had, and now it's gone. Get ready for a new journey and story. Now, before I continue on, I want to address the whole political thing of this game, and people complain about how it's too political or that they mean these games too political. And I just want to address this by saying that to these types of people that this game represents, this isn't political. It's just their lives. Like that bit where the guy answering the gas station said that they sure hope they bought that stuff that they have. That's something that actually happens to people of color. And you have actual people of color saying to this that this sort of stuff happens all the time to them. And this goes the same for all marginalized groups. This isn't political, it's just their lives. If anything, their lives are being politicized. Anyway, moving on. I mentioned earlier that the game continues to use supernatural elements as well as realist imagery and narrative elements to explore characters and their relationships. That does happen a bit in this game, but it does seem to be mainly introducing things in this episode. I mean, Daniel doesn't even know that their dad is dead or that he has supernatural powers, nor are these powers even addressed, till the end of the episode. And I just want to say that I like how the game continues to place the characters in front of the powers. Like how at the end of the episode when Daniel figures out their dad is dead and his powers are going crazy, I wasn't focused on his powers going crazy. I was just going, oh shit, I lied to my brother, I'm such an asshole. With all of this, the game is starting to play out more like a season of television than any other episodic game has. The first game in Telltale Games as well as other episodic games, it just feels like a full game split up cleverly into 5 parts. This episode felt like a 2-parter premiere of a new season of television, where all the elements are introduced in the first part, which all come together at the end of the second part, propelling the season forward into its overarching arc. That being said though, I have some issues with the woods part of this two-parter. Now, I already went to my thoughts on the Seattle part. Once I leave Seattle, the story seems to stall a bit as you just roam the woods for an hour doing nothing. I like the bits between the brothers, but it wasn't helped by the fact that Daniel didn't know why we were out here, and that made me hella uncomfortable. It does really pick up a bit after this part at the gas station, as you have to actually deal with the fact that you are homeless. I felt like shit when Daniel stole something frivolous from the nice Sal Brody, even though I felt like I should be mad as well at the game, but that because we just stole out of necessity. But then again, Daniel doesn't know that. It's not like I can go into the complicated social economic nuances as well as inherent racial bias in the judiciary system that caused it to be necessary for us to steal right after telling him our dad is dead. This part of the game also demonstrates the picturesque aspect of the game as you go along new settings and new characters, some good, some bad, some that will join you on this journey as well, and all feels very grandiose. Anyway, this whole thing just leaves me very excited to see where this whole episode just leaves me very excited to see where the story goes and how it all plays out in the next episode. So, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned stay tuned to this channel as soon as Assassin's Odyssey comes out. I'll be doing a live stream of that, as well as doing a live stream of Kevin Spirit and Life is Strange 2 episode 1 before the next episode comes out. As well, I will soon be doing I'll be doing a video on my opinions on Mass Effect Andromeda before it ends 7 days. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Goodbye.